where your money disappears every month. Every month, your paycheck arrives, and for a brief moment, everything feels under control. You worked hard, you earned your money, and now it finally hits your account. But somehow, before the month even ends, that money is almost gone. You look back and wonder where it all went. You didn't buy anything crazy, you didn't go on luxury trips, you didn't make any big purchases, and yet your balance tells a completely different story. This is one of the most frustrating financial experiences, not because you're careless, but because everything feels normal. Your spending doesn't feel extreme, it feels average, reasonable, even necessary. But that's exactly the problem. The way money disappears is not through one big mistake. It's through dozens of small, invisible leaks happening every single month. Let's break it down deeper. The first and biggest place your money goes is housing. Whether you rent or own, this is usually your largest expense. Rent, mortgage, utilities, internet, maintenance, all of it adds up fast. And over the past few years, housing costs have been rising faster than most incomes. So even if you're earning more than before, a huge portion of your money is already locked in before you even spend a single dollar on anything else. And the worst part is that housing costs are fixed. You can't easily reduce them month to month. Once you commit to a place, you're locked into that expense. Then comes transportation. If you own a car, you're not just paying for the vehicle. You're paying for fuel, insurance, repairs, maintenance, and sometimes parking. And if you financed your car, you also have monthly payments. But what most people don't realize is how much a car truly costs over time. Depreciation alone quietly eats away thousands of dollars. The car loses value every year, even though you continue paying for it. It feels like ownership, but financially, it's often a constant expense machine. Next is food. Groceries used to feel predictable, but now prices are constantly rising. You go to the store, buy what feels like the same items, and somehow the total is higher than last time. And then there's convenience spending. Takeout, coffee, snacks, delivery. None of these feel like big decisions. A coffee here, a meal there. But over a full month, these small expenses stack up into a serious amount. And over a year, they become thousands.
Now let's talk about something that feels small but is incredibly powerful: subscriptions. Streaming services, apps, memberships, cloud storage, digital tools. Each one might only cost a few dollars. But when you stack them together, they create a steady drain on your finances. The worst part is that most of these payments are automatic. You don't even notice them happening. They quietly pull money from your account every single month without any active decision from you. Another major factor is debt. Credit cards, personal loans, student loans. These payments don't just reduce your income, they limit your future. Interest makes everything more expensive. And here's the dangerous part. Interest works against you. While investments grow your money over time, debt shrinks your financial future. If you carry balances, a portion of your income is constantly being redirected away from you and toward lenders. Then there are the invisible lifestyle upgrades. You start earning more, so you allow yourself small improvements: a slightly nicer apartment, a better phone, faster internet, more convenience. These upgrades feel earned. You worked hard, so you deserve better. But over time, these small upgrades become your new normal. And once something becomes normal, it becomes a fixed expense. You're no longer choosing it, you're maintaining it. This is called lifestyle inflation, and it's one of the biggest reasons people never feel financially ahead. Every time income increases, spending increases with it. So instead of building wealth, you build a more expensive life. Now let's go even deeper: convenience. Modern life is designed to make spending frictionless. One-click purchases, saved payment methods, instant delivery, subscriptions that renew automatically. You don't feel the act of spending anymore. There's no pause, no resistance, and because of that, money leaves your account faster than your brain can process it.
Another hidden drain is emotional spending. Stress, boredom, reward, celebration. Emotions often trigger spending decisions. You had a hard day, so you order food. You feel productive, so you reward yourself. You feel bored, so you scroll and buy something small. These decisions feel harmless in the moment, but repeated over time, they shape your entire financial life. Then there's social influence. You see people online traveling, upgrading, buying new things, and living what looks like a perfect life. Even if you don't consciously compare yourself, it affects your expectations. Suddenly, your current lifestyle feels not enough. So you spend more, not because you need to, but because it feels normal. Another major issue is not tracking your money. If you don't know where your money goes, you can't control it. Most people underestimate how much they spend. They remember the big expenses, but forget the small ones. But those small ones are exactly where the leaks happen. Now think about this. If you leak a small amount of money every single day, it doesn't feel serious. But over time, it becomes a huge loss. $10 a day is $300 a month. $300 a month is $3,600 a year. And over 5 or 10 years, that becomes a massive amount of money. Another important factor is lack of planning. If you don't give your money a plan, it will disappear into whatever feels easiest in the moment. Without structure, spending becomes reactive instead of intentional. Now, let's shift to solutions. The first step is awareness. You need to face the reality of your spending. Look at your bank statements. Track everything. Not for one day, not for 1 week, but consistently. Patterns will start to appear. You'll begin to see exactly where your money is going. The second step is reducing friction in saving and increasing friction in spending. Make saving automatic. Set up systems where a portion of your income is moved before you can spend it. At the same time, make spending slightly harder. Remove saved cards. Add pauses before purchases. These small barriers can reduce impulsive decisions.
The third step is prioritization. Not all spending is bad. The goal is not to eliminate spending, but to align it with what actually matters to you. Spend on what improves your life. Cut what doesn't. The fourth step is building a system. Your money needs direction. A simple structure where income is divided into needs, wants, savings, and investments. When every dollar has a role, it becomes much harder for money to disappear randomly. Another powerful step is investing. Saving protects your money, but investing grows it. Even small amounts invested consistently can create long-term results. The key is time and consistency. And finally, mindset. You have to stop seeing money as something that comes and goes randomly. It follows behavior. If your system is weak, money disappears. If your system is strong, money stays and grows. At the end of the day, your paycheck is not the problem. The real issue is how money flows through your life. Every decision, every habit, every automatic payment shapes that flow. Money doesn't disappear. It moves. And if you don't control where it goes, it will always find a way to leave. But once you understand this, everything changes. You stop guessing and you start controlling. You stop reacting and you start planning. And that's the moment when money stops disappearing and starts working for you.
And there is another layer that most people never think about: the time delay between earning and realizing the consequences of spending. When you spend money today, the impact is not always immediate. You don't feel it right away. The real effect shows up later, when you try to save, invest, or handle an unexpected expense and realize there is nothing left. This delayed consequence is dangerous because it hides the true cost of your habits. Spending feels good now, but the lack of savings feels bad later. And because the pain is delayed, the habit continues. Another important factor is income timing. Most people receive money in fixed intervals, weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. But spending happens continuously. Money comes in chunks, but it leaves in small, constant streams. This mismatch creates the illusion that you have more money than you actually do at the beginning of the month. At the start of the month, your balance looks strong. You feel comfortable spending. But as the days pass, those small expenses keep reducing your balance until you reach the end of the month and feel pressure again. This cycle repeats over and over. Another hidden leak is irregular expenses. These are costs that don't happen every month, but still matter. Things like repairs, gifts, medical bills, subscriptions billed annually, or unexpected fees. Because they are not monthly, people often forget to plan for them. When these expenses appear, they feel like emergencies, even though they are predictable over time. And when you are not prepared, they force you to use savings or go into debt.
There is also the concept of mental accounting.
People treat money differently depending on where it comes from. Salary feels like real money, while bonuses, refunds, or extra income feel like extra money. Because of this, people often spend unexpected income more freely instead of using it to build stability. But money has no memory. Every dollar has the same value, no matter where it came from. Another important detail is how habits are formed. Spending habits are not created overnight. They are built slowly through repetition. Small daily actions become automatic behaviors. You don't think about them anymore, you just do them. And once a habit becomes automatic, it becomes powerful. It continues without effort. This is why changing financial behavior feels difficult. You are not just changing numbers, you are changing habits that have been repeated hundreds or thousands of times. Another overlooked factor is energy. When people are tired, stressed, or overwhelmed, they make worse financial decisions. They choose convenience over cost. They avoid tracking. They delay planning. This leads to higher spending and less control. Your financial life is deeply connected to your daily energy and focus. There is also the issue of short-term thinking. Many spending decisions are made based on how something feels in the moment, not how it affects the future. A small purchase feels harmless now, so it gets approved instantly. But repeated over time, these decisions create long-term consequences. Another thing to consider is that not all expenses are equal. Some expenses build your future, while others only satisfy the present moment. Investing in skills, education, or assets can create long-term value, but spending on temporary pleasures disappears quickly. Understanding this difference changes how you see money.
Another hidden reason money disappears is lack of boundaries. If you don't set limits on your spending, there is no natural stopping point. There will always be something to buy, something to upgrade, something to improve. Without boundaries, spending expands to fill your entire income. There is also the idea of opportunity cost. Every dollar you spend is a dollar you cannot invest. When you buy something, you are not just losing that money, you are also losing the future growth that money could have created. This is one of the most powerful concepts in finance, yet most people ignore it because the effect is invisible. Another factor is impatience. People want results quickly. They want to feel progress now, but building wealth takes time. Because of this, many people choose immediate satisfaction over long-term gain. Another layer is environment. Your surroundings influence your spending more than you realize. If you are constantly exposed to advertising, shopping, and consumption, it becomes harder to resist spending. Your environment shapes your behavior. Changing your environment can be one of the most powerful ways to change your finances. There is also the role of identity. How you see yourself affects how you spend. If you see yourself as someone who enjoys luxury, you will naturally spend more. If you see yourself as someone who builds wealth, your decisions will reflect that. Your financial behavior follows your identity. Another important point is that income increases are often slower than expense increases. Over time, prices rise due to inflation, but salaries do not always keep up at the same speed. This creates a gap where your purchasing power slowly decreases. Even if you are earning more, you may actually be able to afford less. There is also the concept of financial fatigue. Constantly thinking about money, bills, and expenses can be exhausting. When people feel overwhelmed, they sometimes stop paying attention completely. They avoid looking at their accounts, avoid tracking, and ignore problems.
But ignoring finances never solves them. It only makes them worse over time. Another hidden issue is that many people never define what enough means. Without a clear definition, there is no endpoint. More always feels necessary. More income, more comfort, more upgrades. But without a clear goal, financial satisfaction becomes impossible. Another important factor is delayed rewards. Saving and investing require patience. The reward is not immediate. This makes it harder for people to stay consistent compared to spending, which gives instant feedback. Understanding this difference helps you stay disciplined. There is also the issue of complexity. Financial systems can feel complicated. Taxes, investments, accounts, budgeting, all of it can feel overwhelming. Because of this, many people avoid learning and stay in a reactive mode. But simplicity is powerful. Even basic systems can create strong results over time. Another layer is comparison. People compare their current situation to others without knowing the full picture. Someone may appear wealthy but be heavily in debt. Another person may appear average but have strong investments.
Comparing without context leads to wrong decisions. There is also the impact of habits from the past. Financial behaviors are often shaped early in life. How someone was raised, what they saw growing up, and how money was handled around them all influence current decisions. Changing these patterns require awareness and effort. Another important point is that money flows toward what is easy. If spending is easier than saving, money will be spent. If saving is automated and simple, money will be saved. Design matters. There is also the factor of uncertainty. The future is unpredictable. Because of this, people sometimes choose to spend now rather than plan for later. But this creates vulnerability when unexpected events happen. Preparation reduces stress.
Another hidden truth is that most people are not taught how to manage money effectively. They learn through trial and error. Mistakes are part of the process, but without learning, the same mistakes repeat. Another layer is discipline. Financial success is less about knowledge and more about behavior. Many people know what they should do, but they don't do it consistently. Consistency is what creates results. Another important idea is that progress is often invisible at first. When you start saving or investing, the numbers look small. It may feel like nothing is changing, but over time, these small changes build momentum. Trusting the process is essential. Another factor is that money decisions are emotional, not just logical. People spend based on how they feel, not just what makes sense. Understanding your emotions helps you control your decisions. Another hidden issue is that many people only react to problems instead of preventing them. They wait until money runs out before making changes, but proactive planning creates much better results. There is also the idea that freedom comes from control. When you control your money, you control your options. When money controls you, your options become limited. Another important truth is that small changes can create big results. Reducing one expense, improving one habit, or making one better decision consistently can transform your financial life over time. And finally, the most important realization is this: money is not disappearing randomly. It is following a system. And if you don't build that system intentionally, it will build itself around your habits. Once you understand this, you stop asking where your money went, and you start deciding where it goes next.
That's
Hello,
all.
everyone.
Subscribe
Welcome to the
and
team.
like,
I'm
and I will
thrilled to
post
have you
even
on
more
board.
interesting
Let's achieve
and useful
great things
videos
together.
about finance.